Episode 4 of Toxic Town begins in 2009, with Des and his team presenting their evidence to the council in an attempt to reach a settlement. However, Roy dismisses their claims and refuses to settle. With no choice but to take the case to court, Des regretfully informs Tracy that they cannot include her daughter. Heartbroken, Tracy isolates herself and refuses to speak to anyone. Meanwhile, on their way to court, Des doesn't inform Susan about what happened with Tracy. During the hearing, the defense presents an alternative equation for the spread of toxic dust, arguing that it couldn't have travelled far enough to harm the women. Des now faces the challenge of disproving their calculations to keep the case alive. On the way back, Des finally tells Susan that Tracy was excluded from the case. Susan attempts to visit Tracy but is unable to see her. Elsewhere, Derek takes Maggie to a party at Pat's newly built mansion. Tensions inevitably rise as Maggie refuses to attend, blaming Pat for their son's suffering. It's revealed here that Maggie has always insisted Derek cannot testify against Pat, fearing he'll lose his job. Meanwhile, Pat urges Roy to settle with the mothers, but Roy, too proud of the Corby he built, refuses. As the trial continues, the defense relentlessly challenges Des's team, attempting to discredit their claims. Later, Des meets Sam and urges him to convince Ted to testify, believing it could be crucial to their victory. Des then visits Susan, asking her to persuade Tracy to testify about the presence of dust in town during the incidents. Although hesitant, Susan convinces Tracy, reassuring her that she is still the heart of the case. In court, Tracy testifies about the toxic dust, the open lorries, and the polluted sidewalks. Susan supports her claims, but the defense attempts to discredit her by bringing up her past struggles with depression, drinking, and smoking. Elsewhere, Sam tracks down Ted, who has become a recluse, rarely leaving his home. Sam urges him to testify, but Ted, having lost everything, is reluctant to get involved. Meanwhile, Des's team discovers a crucial flaw in the defense's calculations, a missing digit. But they need a German Cole study paper to prove it, and unfortunately, they struggle to locate the document. At the same time, Connor realizes that Peter is after the compensation money. He tells his mother, Susan, who is devastated by the revelation. Furious, she throws Peter out of their house for good. During the next court hearing, Maggie testifies about how her husband was pressured to transport toxic waste quickly as part of his job. Meanwhile, Des's paralegal finally locates the missing German study, allowing their expert to debunk the defense's argument about dust dispersion. As a final move, they issue a court summons to Ted. When questioned, Ted testifies about the council's mismanagement of hazardous waste and their negligence. Ultimately, the court rules in favour of the mothers, recognising the compelling testimonies and evidence presented by Des's team. They celebrate their hard-won victory at a bar, and while everyone gathers, Susan visits Tracy, who has been visiting her daughter's grave. As they stand together, they finally say aloud, "We are done." The case itself results in the council being forced to settle for £14.6 million. This landmark ruling became the first in the world to establish a link between airborne toxins and damage to unborn children. A 2021 study found numerous hazardous sites across the UK, many beneath homes, shops, restaurants, and even schools. However, no one has faced criminal charges for what happened in Corby. Additionally, council leadership figures, Pat Miller and Bill Martin, are fictional, while Roy Thomas is based on multiple real-life figures, none of whom lived to see their visions for Corby realised. So Toxic Town delivers a powerful and emotionally charged finale, offering a cathartic conclusion to the mothers' fight for justice. The episode is tightly constructed, ensuring every scene has meaning and purpose. While Derek and Maggie may seem like secondary characters in Susan and Tracy's fight, their story highlights the struggles of workers who are unknowingly complicit in Corby's tragic history. Their arc reinforces the show's message. The real culprit was never individuals like Derek, but rather the council, which prioritised rapid industrial progress over safety. Overall, Toxic Town has been a gripping and eye-opening series, shedding light on the hidden dangers in former industrial towns. It's an inspiring and essential watch for anyone interested in environmental justice and corporate accountability. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.